The television flashes with breaking news, its urgent graphics and dramatic music demanding our attention, pulling us in before we even realize it. Every night, living rooms across the country glow with the light of screens, each one competing to be the loudest, the most shocking, the most impossible to ignore. Headlines are crafted not just to inform, but to provoke and divide, using language that stirs up our emotions and keeps us on edge. The news cycle spins faster and faster, each story more sensational than the last, making it hard to look away. Outrage erupts over school curriculums, celebrity tweets, and culture war skirmishes. Each story carefully selected and amplified to keep us glued to the screen, arguing with strangers online or even with our own families. These controversies are designed to feel personal, urgent, and impossible to ignore. We're told to pick sides, to see our neighbors as enemies over symbols and words. The lines are drawn, and suddenly, the people we once shared meals with become adversaries in battles we never chose. These battles feel urgent, but they're distractions, carefully orchestrated to keep us from noticing what really matters. The more we argue, the less we see. While we argue, who benefits? What's happening behind the noise and the headlines? In quiet rooms, far from the cameras, decisions are made that shape our lives in ways we rarely notice. The real story isn't about these manufactured controversies or the endless cycle of outrage. It's about what's being ignored, buried beneath the spectacle. It's about economics, the steady, quiet transfer of wealth and power to a tiny elite. As we're distracted, the gap between the rich and everyone else grows wider, almost unnoticed. As we fixate on outrage, the rules of the economy are rewritten for the ultra-wealthy and powerful corporations. Laws are passed, deals are struck, and the system is quietly tilted further in their favor. This isn't conspiracy, it's reality. The evidence is all around us, in rising inequality, stagnant wages, and communities left behind. The distraction machine keeps us from seeing what's truly being taken from us, our attention, our unity, and our power to demand change. It's time to look beyond the spectacle, to question the stories we're told, and to ask, who's really winning and at what cost? Only then can we begin to reclaim what's been lost. The culture wars are a magician's misdirection, flashy, emotional, and divisive. We're pushed to see those who disagree as threats, not fellow citizens. This division serves those at the top, keeping us distracted from the real issues. While we argue over flags and holidays, wages stagnate and costs rise. Outrage sells. Media and politicians feed the beast, fueling endless cycles of anger. The result? We're at war with ourselves, while economic problems go unaddressed. The culture war is the smoke. The real fire is the dismantling of middle-class security. We must see through the distractions. Only then can we focus on what truly matters. Don't let the spectacle blind you to the real game. Imagine for a moment that America's entire economy is a giant pizza, fresh out of the oven, steaming, and ready to be shared. This pizza represents all the wealth, income, and opportunity available in the country. Decades ago, when the pizza was first served, everyone at the table got a fair slice. It wasn't perfectly equal, but most people felt they had enough to enjoy and share with their families. Fast forward to today, and the scene has changed dramatically. Now, one person at the table grabs half the pizza for themselves, a few others take most of what's left, and the rest are left to fight over the remaining crumbs. The sense of fairness is gone. The top 1% of Americans now control more wealth than the entire bottom 90% combined. This isn't just a matter of having a bigger slice. It's as if they've taken over the whole meal, leaving little for everyone else. It's not just about abundance for a few, it's about scarcity for the many. The imbalance is staggering, and it affects every aspect of daily life, from education to healthcare to the ability to save for the future. After World War II, as the economy grew, so did everyone's share of the pizza. Wages rose, families bought homes, and the American dream felt within reach for most. But starting in the 1980s, something changed. The pizza kept getting bigger, but only those at the very top got more to eat. The rest saw their slices shrink, even as the nation prospered. For the bottom 90%, the share of wealth steadily declined. Everyday Americans found it harder to get by, even as the country grew richer overall. This wasn't some natural disaster or accident. It was the result of deliberate policy decisions, choices made by lawmakers and leaders about taxes, wages, and regulations. We were told that if we let the wealthiest take more, their prosperity would eventually trickle down to everyone else. This idea shaped decades of economic policy, but the promised trickle never arrived. Instead, most people were left waiting, struggling to make ends meet while the wealth at the top soared. The result? Wealth surged upward, leaving the majority behind. The gap between the richest and everyone else has only grown wider. This gap isn't a natural outcome. It's been carefully engineered through policies and decisions that favored a select few. Now, it's time to ask, who's writing the rules, and who are they really serving? If we want a fairer future, we need to rethink how the pizza is divided, and who gets a seat at the table. It wasn't always this way. After World War II, America built a thriving middle class. Wages rose with productivity, and the gap between rich and poor narrowed. High taxes on the wealthy funded public investments, highways, universities, research. Strong unions empowered workers to bargain for better lives. A single income could support a family and a future. Not everyone benefited equally. Women and people of color were often excluded. But the model proved broad prosperity is possible. When the middle class thrives, so does the nation. We've done it before, we can do it again. In the late 1970s and 80s, America embraced trickle-down economics tax cuts for the wealthy, deregulation, and weakened unions. The top tax rates were slashed, capital gains taxes lowered, and the rich paid less than many workers. Unions lost power and public investments dwindled. Deregulation let finance run wild, prioritizing short-term profits over stability. The idea of companies serving all stakeholders was replaced by shareholder primacy. For 40 years, we've run this experiment. The promised benefits never reached most Americans. Instead, wealth gushed upward, fueling today's inequality. The rules changed, and so did who the economy serves. Extreme wealth isn't just an economic issue, it's a threat to democracy. Money buys political power, creating a feedback loop. Wealth shapes policy, policy creates more wealth for the few. Campaigns depend on big donors and PACs, making politicians responsive to funders, not voters. Lobbyists write laws, insert loopholes, and drown out ordinary voices. The result? Policies the majority supports, like higher wages or lower drug prices, rarely become law. The average citizen's influence is near zero. Economic elites call the shots. Democracy becomes $1, one vote. The system is rigged, and it's time to reclaim it. Inequality is a self-reinforcing cycle. Concentrated wealth rigs the system, creating policies that further enrich the top. The more the rich gain, the more they influence politics, locking in their advantage. This hollows out the middle class and starves public investment. Underfunded schools, crumbling infrastructure, and crushing student debt limit opportunity for millions. Inequality isn't destiny, it's the result of choices. Tax cuts for the rich, weakened unions, deregulation. But choices can change. We can break the cycle. We can rewrite the rules for the many, not just the few. The future is ours to shape. We know how to fix this. The solutions are proven fair taxes, political reform, and public investment. First, make the tax system fair. Ask the wealthy and corporations to pay their share, close loopholes, and tax wealth like work. Second, get big money out of politics. Enact campaign finance reform, public election funding, and strong ethics laws. Third, invest in people, world-class education, modern infrastructure, and clean energy. These aren't costs, they're investments in our future. We've built broad prosperity before. We can do it again. The path is clear. It's time to act. America's story is one of struggle and progress. Ordinary people uniting to solve great problems. From the earliest days of our nation, it's been everyday citizens, farmers, workers, parents, and dreamers who have come together to push for change, to demand justice, and to build a better future for the next generation. Our history is filled with moments when unity and courage overcame fear and division. Today, the biggest obstacle we face isn't just the power of the wealthy or the influence of special interests. but the division and cynicism they foster among us. When we're pitted against each other, it becomes easier for those at the top to maintain the status quo and harder for us to make our voices heard. They want us distracted, divided, and hopeless, believing that nothing can change. But history shows that when we stand together, we're truly unstoppable. Our unity is our greatest strength, and it's what has always driven progress in America. We can choose to reject the endless culture war distractions and focus instead on our shared interests, like good jobs, safe communities, and a fair shot for every family. We have more in common than we're led to believe. We can demand a government that serves everyone, not just the rich or the well-connected. Our democracy works best when all voices are heard and when leaders are held accountable to the people. We can rebuild an economy that rewards hard work, values every contribution, and creates opportunity for all, no matter where you come from or what you look like. Every American deserves the chance to thrive. This isn't a partisan dream. It's an American one. It's about coming together as neighbors, as citizens, and as people who care about the future of our country. The fight for fairness and equality is unfinished business. It's a journey that each generation must continue, building on the progress of those who came before us. It requires us to get involved, speak out, vote, and organize. Real change happens when ordinary people take action. When we show up, raise our voices, and work together for the common good. Let's turn off the noise, look our neighbors in the eye, and start the real conversation about what matters most. Let's listen, learn, and find common ground. Together, we can build an America that works for all of us. The future is in our hands. Let's get to work, united, determined, and hopeful.